State Champs Game Time Live is powered by Alta Equipment Company. State Champs Game Time Live is also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, the Michigan Army National Guard, the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association, and the Michigan High School Athletic Association.
And welcome into Brighton, one of the most dynamic hockey atmospheres you will find in the state, for another edition of Game Time Live. Along with my broadcast partner, Mike Ivesell, my name is Sean Belegian. Livingston County hockey in full effect tonight, Mike. Let's start with the visitors from Howell. They are loaded, make no mistake about that, and led by one of the most dynamic players in the state.
Yeah, and Coach Robertson stressed to us that defense is the strength of this team, giving up about a goal a game. That defense is led by Player of the Year nominee Chad Pietla. He leads the charge on offense, he shuts the door on defense, and watch out because he plays with an edge. But watch out for that offense. It's absolutely on fire. That top line has 27 points in the last 2 games, led by Luke Storm's 9 goals.
And Brighton, of course, one of the perennial powers, make no mistake about that. You know Kurt Kavisto teams are always going to be ready. And quite often when you talk about the Bulldogs, you start with goaltending.
When you talk about their goaltending, one of the hottest goalies in the state right now, Reese Hutchinson. And he's being backed up by one of the top defensemen in the state right now, Vince Walkup. This kid can skate, he can hit, he can score. He's leading this team in scoring right now.
Boy, we've got a dandy for you tonight. Livingston County hockey on full display right here on Game Time Live.
At Alta Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonnenbogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alta Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
If playing college sports is your dream, don't wait for a college coach to find you. Recruit yourself. At Lawrence Tech, we're looking for student athletes. LTU competes in the NAIA with 24 varsity sports and athletic scholarships. Explore new degree programs like sport management, where sports meets cutting-edge education. Visit LTURecruitYourself.com and just fill out the questionnaire. It's that easy. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
And welcome into Brighton. We are just a couple minutes away from face-off here in what should be a packed house as the Brighton Bulldogs host the Howell Highlanders. We have to bring some professionalism into this broadcast, Mike, and you can't spell professionalism without the P in Patty. Let's welcome in Patty Cesarini. Patty?
Thank you, Sean. Well, the level of hockey competition in Livingston County truly is unmatched between 3 incredibly strong programs. Brighton that has 5 state championships, Heartland with 3, and then Howell that's been knocking on the door. And you can take a look at the KLAA standings and where each of them sit. But what's really unique about Livingston County hockey is that all of these kids grew up together, played on the same travel teams, became great friends, and then they part ways for high school, and all of a sudden they want to beat up on each other because they're not friends anymore. It just goes to show how small of a world this hockey community really is, and I'll give you another example of that. Early on in his career at Brighton, Coach Cavisto coached now assistant Jay Karanen, and Karanen went on to play at the University of Michigan, played professionally for a little bit, and now as part of the staff, Coach Cavisto said he brings fresh and new ideas to the team, and it's been really neat to see everything come full circle. Back up to you guys.
How cool is that? Thank you very much, Patty. Of course, as we head into this one, Mike, as always, goaltenders are very, very important. We have two solid goaltenders tonight for each one of these teams. Make no mistake about that. Both ends of the ice, you have some fantastic goaltenders. So let's start with the home team. How about Hutch from the Brighton Bulldogs?
Reese Hutchinson, one of the hottest goalies in the state right now, Sean. He had 2 straight shutouts before a tough game against Catholic Central, but he really kept them in. It was 5-0, but he made some key saves even in that game.
And at the other end of the ice, boy, they just grow goaltenders out in Howell, right? My goodness gracious. You had the Wall winner last year, and now you have a young man by the name of Chase Rayburn, and he has been lighting the high school hockey rinks on fire.
Yeah, it's almost like goalie you here, right? We go back to Ian Badgett even. There's always seems to be some goaltenders here, and Chase Rayburn is taken up right with them. He's got his name on our list. We're watching him, and he's earning all of it, Sean.
This should be a dandy. So glad you could join us wherever you may be. Thanks for inviting us into your laptops, your phones, your computers. Heck, maybe you've got us up on the screen as well. Mike, this should be a heck of a lot of fun. Always a good time when you head out to Livingston County and you watch some of the fantastic hockey being played out this way.
Yeah, when you get out to this ice arena, it gives me chills just walking in here, Sean. You know I've got a history here with both my kids playing. But when you come in here, whether it's your kids or someone else's kids, you know how strong the KVHA is. It has fueled high school hockey, state champions year after year. And as Patty brought up, these kids played with each other and against each other. They were Rebels, they were Renegades, they were Raiders, they were the Lightning. They all played together. Now here we are when the lights are shining the brightest.
Well, we're just about to get this one started. They're going to introduce the players, but we're going to give you a sneak peek. How about our projected lines here tonight as we look at what both these teams are going to bring to the table? Here's how it looks for Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at that top line with Max McKenzie and Tim Peterson and Nick Smith. Nick Smith and McKenzie, 2 newcomers, seniors, but newcomers here playing with just a dynamic offensive player in Tim Peterson.
And a pretty darn good defense core as well, as we take a look at how Howell hopes to line things up tonight as well. There's their projected lineup.
Yeah, and what more needs to be said about that top line? 27 points in their last 2 games. Luke Storm leading the way with 9 goals. But you know my focus on one of my favorite players in the state, Chad Pietla. He starts the offense, Sean. He ends it on the defensive end. As Coach Robertson said, he probably leads our team in breakaways, and he doesn't give up any, right? And they got to keep your head up when he's out there because he plays with an edge.
Well, they're introducing their top line right now. And, Mike, when you talk about top lines, that might just be the top line in the state as you take a look at those 3 men right there. Escala, Storm, and Marco Wolf. My goodness gracious.
And we're going to have to put the call out there to our people. I don't know if there's a taller line out there. Those are 3 big boys. Talking to Coach Robertson, he said when these guys are going, their compete level is so good in practice, Sean. We're talking about practice. They make everybody else on the team better.
No doubt about that. Just a moment away from face-off as they introduce Brighton now, and of course the fans making noise for this hometown team. Such a proud hockey community this is. I had a chance to see Coach Muggin a few minutes ago and shake his hand. I felt like I was shaking royalty's hand. He's probably going to be mad at me for saying that, but always a gentleman. He really is.
Yep, and that's where this program really got its wheels going, was with him, Sean, right? You go back in the days, I shared with you as we were watching the game before this, I coached against a lot of those teams, and I remember watching this program become an absolute monster before I got out of the game.
All right, before we get this one started, as always, let's honor our nation with the playing of our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light, or so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land and the free, and the home of the brave.
All right, we're ready to get things going here tonight in Brighton. So glad you could join us along with Mike Iversel, Patty Cesarini, certainly providing things downstairs, and the best crew in the business. My name is Sean Belegian. First of all, let's get this out of the way. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year, all of that stuff. It is indeed the most wonderful time of the year. But before we get into some of that fun and frivolity and family time, Mike, we got a hockey game to talk about here tonight.
Yeah, and what a great atmosphere already. Sean, as I was walking up to the booth, I think I walked through about 800 middle schoolers from Howell wearing their gear, ready to cheer these kids on. And as Coach Robertson described, those kids want nothing more but to be Highlanders in the future. So they're getting a taste of what this rivalry is going to be about tonight. I think it's going to be a dandy, Sean.
No doubt about that. The top line starting for the Highlanders. Coach Cavisto deciding to start with Whitlock, Wysocki, and Wheeler up front.
Man, does it seem like Wheeler's been here 15 years, or is that just me? He's been here, and this is a work line. So as we were talking to the coaches before this, they got handed the starting lineup from Howell. They knew who they were playing, and they didn't hesitate. We're going with Bam, Bam, and Bam, aren't we? They did.
And we are underway here in Brighton. So glad you can join us. Brighton trying to get it in deep. They're going to go give chase down there. First one there is Wheeler, sends it back to the point. Boy, dangerous for a second in the high slot. Here comes Howell in transition. There's two of them. Storm, he's been on fire. We've watched him improve in front of our own eyes. Here's Storm with a power move. Looked like it rolled off the stick at the last second, and Wheeler gets it to the line, but not out. Kept in. Rister comes in. That one able to be cleared. There's Pietla. Boy, folks, if you haven't seen him, watch him here. Pietla didn't miss by much.
Was that a laser?
He might be the best player in the state, Mike. I don't say that lightly. Avery with a shot from the point. Now Brighton hemmed in their own end. Going to send it high off the glass. That'll go the distance for an icing. A minute into this game. Waved off. Giving chase back there is Nolan Stevens. Boy, Coach Robertson had some high praise for him.
Who did he compare him to, Sean?
Pietla.
That guy we were just talking about. And he says he is mean. I got to watch this one.
Big hit right in front of us. Brighton with a chance to get something going. That's picked off by Avery. Avery's going to send it back, however. There's Bryce Pietla. Pietla gets to the line. Puck comes through, but taken away by Giroux. Kept in at the line by Franti, and then out over. And Howell has to start over. Avery picking up some speed. Look at Avery moving the puck. Drops it at the line to Bryce Pietla. Fyrick now giving chase along the far boards in front of the Brighton net. Look out, giveaway there. Opportunity coming the other way for Peterson. Good speed coming back. Puck lay there for a second, they score!
Wow, Sean, we say it almost every game, don't we? You follow that puck, don't sit and watch. Number 14, Landon Clement, did just that. He didn't watch Peterson go to the net and thinking he's going to score. I'm going to follow and I'm going to get this rebound. An unfortunate turnover to one of the better players in the state, Peterson. Nice pad save, but Clement doesn't give up. He goes right to the net and slams it home like good goal scorers do.
What a big start for the Bulldogs, and they send their home crowd into a frenzy exactly 2 minutes into this game.
That's the start that they wanted, Sean. A lot of pressure out of Howell. We saw they were getting a lot of first touches on those dump-ins and forechecks, and they turned it into a goal of their own.
1-0. Bulldogs on top. Rayburn leaves it there for a moment. Kept in by Brighton. That's why Saki creeps out over the line, and an opportunity for Wolf the other way. He gets it poked away. Eddie Wheeler just shovels it down into the end. Chad Pietla back in behind his own net, playing catch with his defense partner. Nice pass to Wolf just off his stick. Bozak pays the price but gets the puck out. Now it's Wheeler on top of it again with Wysocki. Back into the neutral zone, Wolf. Wolf leaves it there for Storm. Storm's tripped up at the line, and they're going to call that, Mike.
Yep, and you don't want this Howell power play to get going, Sean. They looked like Brighton was just getting going. They're getting that forecheck going. You can see what they're doing. They're throwing their first F1 forechecker in on the puck, and then their two wingers are taking the Howell wingers away. They were getting a feel. An unfortunate power play here. Let's see if they can kill it.
So let's see how they line this up. Bryce Pietla wins the draw straight back to Avery. Power play opportunity for Highlanders. That shot goes just a wide. Pietla loses it in the corner. Brighton takes over. Giroux gets it to the line and just over the line. Duffney nearly broke away. Keep an eye on that young man, Connor Duffney. If his name sounds familiar, it should. His brother Cameron was quite the star here for the Bulldogs, winning our Player of the Year just a couple of years ago.
Yep, and I think he equals Cam's offense with his defense and his high hockey IQ, Sean. He's a good one to watch.
Franti trying to get something going. Here they come on the rush. Fyrick takes it in the corner, drops it back to Bryce Pietla. Pietla waiting, throws it back in deep. Far side pass didn't connect. Here comes Peterson with speed. They're just going to backhand it in as Bulldogs look to change.
Right now, the Howell power play looks a little unorganized right now, Sean. It looked like they had two guys that wanted to be in the same spot. Let's see if the power play, the second unit, can get something going.
Storm tries to pick up speed, instead throws it into Wolf, who's going to give chase behind the net. Working on Luke Weaver. Win the battle, Pietla steps in. No problem for Hutch. You could see Hutch at the edge of that blue crease area giving him nothing to shoot at.
That was man-on-man right there. Hutch knew that Chad was going to shoot that puck. Pietla's got such a good shot, Sean. He's going to shoot it from anywhere.
41 seconds remaining in this power play opportunity for Highlanders. They trail 1-0. Here's Storm, though. Strong move off the board. Trying to set himself up high slot. Still on the puck. Boy, he's so strong on the puck, Mike.
Yeah, he worked out a lot this
Wilkie King
summer.
to Pietla. Another stop by Hutch.
And Storm's causing a little chaos there in front. That is something, growing up, you didn't see a lot of that out of Luke Storm. He was that skill guy. He liked to get to the outside, dangle you, and go upstairs. As he progressed, as you were talking about, Sean, last year, he got more and more physical on those boards.
Escala out there. Puck lay there for a moment. Storm picks it up. Waning seconds of this power play opportunity. Look at Storm showing some patience. Back to Wilkie King. Far side now to Pietla. Pietla steps in. Pietla shoots. Scores.
They're pointing in front. I don't know if that bounced off one of the big forwards in front. It did.
It looks like the goal machine, Luke Storm, got that one off of a tip. We'll see it on the replay here. But again, when Pietla gets that puck up at the top of the umbrella, Sean, he's going to shoot that. And he's looking. He's shooting the whole way.
Yeah, that's going to go in the books as a power play goal. And, Mike, I think you nailed it with all that traffic in front. That big body of Luke Storm, 6'4", $195. And has he been a scoring machine as of late?
And just this game, tough to get off the puck, Sean. He's tough to defend.
No doubt about that. So we're all tied up at 1. Hutch going to leave it in behind his own net. Get some help back there, and here comes Brighton the other way. Bulldogs getting into the neutral zone. Shoveling in deep is McKenzie. Back in behind the net. Highlanders first there, though that's going to go the length of the ice, and icing waved off. So Hutch is just going to play that against the boards. Sturos on it, though. Sturos with the shot. Oh, Hutch had to be careful there, hugging his post. Puck lay there for a moment. In front, dangerously. Finally, Duffy goes the other way. And I think they're going to whistle it down, Mike, with the net off its moorings.
Yep, and that shift right there, Sean, answering one of those questions. How often are we going to see Mayberger, Doolin, and Sturos, that third line, that just adds the depth to this Howell team and makes them even more dangerous? That was their first shift of the night.
Connor Duffy wins that draw, but controlled by Bryce Pietla. Look at Pietla. Boys, he got the quicks, huh? Back to the point, Avery. Avery with a wrist shot, deflected in front, didn't get through. Highlanders got the forecheck going, though, Mike, and they're wreaking havoc in Bulldogs' end. Bulldogs able to clear it. That's going to go the length of the ice for an icing.
You know, how would you like to be the odd man out at the dinner table at the Pietla house with Chad and Bryce there, 2 Bulldogs? I think they're getting that last chicken leg, Sean.
Do you know what I do to a plate of chicken wings right now, Mike? I don't know. It wouldn't be holy. I can tell you that.
I'm going to tell you what. I did it just the other night, so I know exactly what you'd be doing.
We're overdue, pal. We have to go again. Brighton with a chance to skate it out. Nick Smith up into the protective netting and whistled down with 11:06 to go here in this first period. By the way, Alta Equipment knows when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ULTA.
Yeah, and you can see, Sean, as soon as that top line for Howell jumps, Brighton's matching with Wheeler, Wysocki, and Whitlock. They really like that matchup.
It's Howell that controls this. 3 of them coming in. Pietla driving to the net. Escola knocked off the puck. Shot comes in, doesn't go through, though. But that forecheck, persistent. Wolf centering pass, that's knocked away. Good defensive play down there. That was Walkup. Keep an eye on him. 24 is active. What a move by Pietla. Look at Pietla again with a centering pass. Didn't connect. Wow. Escola to Pietla. Pietla back to Escola to Pietla. Pietla going outside again. Another shot. Had to be careful there with the blocker.
When this team's going, Sean, in the offensive end, especially this line and their size, it's hard to defend them and get them off that puck. You just keep them to the outside.
Bozak pinning Big Storm against the boards. Played it right back to Storm. Storm centering pass. It lay there for a second. Oh, boy. Hutch had to be careful again in tight. Look at this big body of Storm again. Back behind the net. Esco back to the point. Over to Pietla. Pietla with a pass. Shot. Hutch with a big stop there. That one doesn't get through, and finally Hutch says enough of this, but tremendous pressure by that top unit in Pietla.
You just can't get them off the puck, especially when they're on the board, Sean. And when you have someone as talented as Chad Pietla on the back end, you don't know whether he's shooting or passing, which actually made that save by Hutchinson so special because Pietla's been shooting all game. He's loaded on him, and he passes it over to the weak side. He got over and made that save.
Puck lay there for a moment, but Howell controls. Going to send it in deep. Giving chase down there is Egan Sturos. Sturos in the corner. A couple of Highlanders down there, a couple of Bulldogs down there. Coming in to help is Mayberger. Look at this battle. You could hear the officials saying, play it, play it, play it. They finally do. And it's Alex Johnston that rings it around the boards but can't get it out. Bulldogs get another opportunity here. playing catch behind their own net. Sturos in there wreaking havoc. Bulldogs finally get a chance. No, they can't clear it. To the line, still in, and finally out into the neutral zone. This one's going to roll all the way in and leave it there for Weaver.
Another great shift by this third line, Sean. They're really causing havoc.
Bulldogs really hemmed in their own zone. Home run pass did miss by much. That's waved off. Finally, an opportunity coming the other way. McKenzie working 1-on-2. Highlanders come away with the puck. There's Sturos into the neutral zone, but taken over by Nick Smith, and he promptly shoves it back in. Duffney giving chase. Flamini behind his own net. 1-1, the score here between Highlanders and Bulldogs. Flamini tries to backhand that in. And once again, Mike, that forecheck wreaking havoc. Bouncing puck. Swept away for the moment. Landon Clement able to clear it into neutral zone. Bulldogs go for a change. 8:05 to go here in this first period. Here's Bryce Pietla. Bryce Pietla throws it forward, Mike. Nearly caught Franti, but Highlanders have to start in their own zone. Fyrick on it now, but Duffney takes over. Just misses his man. Avery going to start over in his own zone. Gets it to Bryce Pietla. Picks up some speed, but throws it to the far side. Far side now. Nolan Stevens looking behind his own net. Avery's going to step up. Shot comes in, deflected. Oh, Hutch had to be careful there. Hey, at Lawrence Technological University, your dream of scholarship-level college athletics is real. LTU offers varsity sports for men and women while earning a world-class degree. Scholarships available at lturecruityourself.com.
You're talking about that forecheck, Sean. This is our kind of forecheck. We talk about it a lot of time. Aggressive to the puck and speed to the puck. Howell's causing havoc, and I have a feeling Coach Gavisto is going to be talking to this team. You can't be soft at your own blue line. That puck has to be out.
Highlanders again applying pressure. The top line back out there. This time, Matt Wilkie King on defense, paired with Pietla again. Look at the patience. Marco Wolf, high slot. Hutch gets a piece of that and deflects it up into the protective netting. Draw stays in the Brighton zone with 7:06 to go here in this first period, a 1-1 game.
Yeah, they've definitely got their matchup going right now with this top line out here. I'm a little surprised they don't have Walkup out there, but they don't want to tie too many people up to the defensive end of it. I get it.
Back in behind the net. Opportunity in front, backhand. Oh, Hutch with a big stop there. Wilkie King with the shot. I'm not sure that got through. Duffney on it now. Duffney gets it to the line, but not out. Throws it to a point. Pietla comes and gets it. Pietla now. Look at that. Still on it. Boy, is that kid dynamic. Gets a shot through. Hutch with a big stop. Boy, he's had to make some big stops here early on, Mike. Wilkie King over to Pietla. Pietla leaves it for Storm. Storm with a wrist shot. Off the glove of Hutch, but out of harm's way. Wolf and Storm working back there now. Wolf on it. Wolf tries to get it to Pietla. Pietla knocked off the puck. Good play by Vince Walkup. Storm on it now. Storm and Walkup. Boy, is that a big battle between two big bodies.
That's the battle we like to see. Get Walkup out there and see what he can do.
Storm turns. Waits, power move in front. My goodness. That's NHL stuff, Mike.
That was such a great move. That's just a high-end move there, Sean.
Peterson trying to get it out. Can't yet. Flamini keeps it in. Wolf was in front. I'm not sure he got a piece of it. Wolf is still out there. Long shift. Looking. Waiting. Throws it to Avery. It's lost. Nice play by Heikkinen to make sure that they didn't come the other way, but Peterson's got it with a shot. Oh, a couple of big opportunities down there. Rayburn had to be careful.
Yeah, when you got a goalie like that, you're really comfortable in focusing down on the offensive end because you think the guy's going to make the save every time, and he really is making the save all the time this year.
Duffney comes back in his own zone, throws it into the neutral zone. He's got a man out there, Landon Clement. He's got the goal tonight. Avery behind his own net. Boy, the speed in this game, you got to love this pace, Mike.
And the pace is really...
Look at that move, coming in. Can't get it through, though. Boy, nice job stick handling by Nick Smith to create that opportunity. That shot didn't get through. Another opportunity just to wide. Now it's Brighton's turn to turn things on. The net's off its mooring, the other side.
I pushed it off.
So, we got a fan that has a feeling that that net was pushed off. That came through loud and clear.
It really did.
Well,
She got a mic in her lap? John Watson, check on that, huh?
We're talking about the pace of play. You'd think that would favor Brighton with the 12 forwards and 6D going down. So let's see if this pace keeps up, how long Howell can put up with it.
Avery in front of his own zone, net into the neutral zone, but taken over by Bulldogs. Weaver just throws it in deep, but Avery on it again. Avery along the far boards, right in front of that Howell bench. It can't get it out. Now it's Brighton's turn to do some work down there. Iola sends it in deep. Opportunity for Iola in front. Doesn't come through. Giving chase down there is Fyrick. Now Avery behind his own net. Avery looks to Fyrick near side. That doesn't connect, and Weaver's able to throw it out into the neutral zone with a little help from his friend. Now Bryce Pietla in his own zone, picking up speed, head up, skating, waiting, holding onto the puck, still showing some patience, drops it there, nobody home. Opportunity to get it out. Here come Bulldogs the other way until it's backhanded back for Walkup. Walkup with a move at the line. Shot comes just a wide that time by Whitlock, and Howell has to retrieve in their own end.
Brighton's really starting to come on here towards the end. I think that might be that depth coming through, Sean.
Home run pass going to miss here, and icing's going to be called with 3:28 to go in this first period.
And they're not getting as many chances, and they're not getting as sustained chances that Howell has. But when Brighton gets those chances down in the Howell end, they're taking advantage of it. They've had some pretty good scoring chances. This very well could be a Brighton lead right now.
3:28 to go in an entertaining first period. Brighton on the puck. Wysocki tried to get it in deep, but here come Highlanders two the other way with a trailer. That trailer, a pretty dangerous trailer in Escala. Escala in the corner. Looks like he lost an edge. That gives Brighton a chance to skate out. They're changing, so there's two with the trailer. Taking it wide. Shot comes in. Rayburn had to be careful.
Well, they blew the whistle when Howell had it. I don't know if they're going to get Walkup coming down with the stick work or if it was Pietla that was on the other end of it. He's pointing over to the Howell bench. I think they're going to get Pietla, and that is just a great job by a guy we've talked a lot about lately, Sean, Vince Walkup. Coach Gavisto talked about the confidence that he's got right now. That was confidence. He stopped the drive down here with Storm, got up into the rush down here, and just immediately started getting into a little stick battle with Pietla and drew that penalty. He's dead tired, but he got his feet down there, and he drew that penalty.
Boy, is he a good-looking player. He's still only a junior. He really is 6'2", 175, and there's a confidence in number 24's game, Mike. You see it.
Yep, and if we're wondering where that came from, we know who he played with last year was Ryan Watkins, one of the better defensemen in the state.
He sure was. Puck lay there for a moment to the point, kept in by Walkup. McKenzie at the other point scores! Somehow that puck had eyes, Mike. From our broadcast vantage point, I don't know how that got past Rayburn, but a power play goal. And I'll tell you what, Watkins wore the number 7, Nick Smith wears the number 7 now, and he gets the Bulldog power play goal.
Here we go, and it's just up top with Walkup, but look at 7. He's going to stake his claim in front of the net. The defenseman's got to give up because he's got a winger out here, and 7's just in front of the net there, Nick Smith, and I believe it's going to go off him. So we're going to have 7 from 19 and 24.
2-1. Bulldogs on top after a power play goal. Escala trying to respond for Highlanders, but Brighton's comes the other way. With speed is Wheeler. Centering pass, nobody home. Kept in at the line, though. Bozak going D to D. Shot comes to the point. Rayburn had to be careful. Now it's Highlanders on their heels a little bit. Escala Waits for traffic to clear, and he's going to skate it out himself to Wolf. Wolf, 1-on-2. Wolf has the puck knocked off. Good play by Bozak. Escala comes in for support. Back to Pietla. That's Chad Pietla. To the other point. Wrist shot. Hits off a couple of bodies. Storm the first one there. Storm loses it in the massive humanity, and it's knocked back into the neutral zone. Bulldogs in the midst of a change, so it's why Saki just decides to throw it in deep. Rayburn is going to leave it there.
Had a little bit of a breakdown in the Brighton forecheck that's allowed Howell to get out of their zone a little bit early. We'll see if they correct that.
Storm trying to keep it in that Brighton zone. He does. Boy, nifty stick handling along the blue line before he dumps it back in. Nobody home. Along the far boards, puck still lay there for a moment. Brighton with an opportunity to clear, and they do. Let's see if they're going to say far enough for icing, and they do.
That was a smart play by Walkup. When you have that top line out of Wolf, Escola, and Storm, if you get a chance, Sean, you're just going to ice that puck and cross your fingers that they put somebody else out there.
$1:28 left in this first period, an entertaining first period that sees the Bulldogs up by a score of 2-1. Bryce Pietla wins the draw to himself, but Walkup comes in, creates havoc. Back to the point to Avery. Avery with a shot. Trying to deflect it in front was Fyrick, couldn't get it through. Centering pass doesn't connect, back to Avery. Avery, wrist shot, far side, nobody home, but kept in by Highlanders. Now Walkup, he's seen a ton of ice here tonight. Puck comes through, backhanded the other way. Opportunity for Bulldogs to get it out, and not yet. Now I think they're going to get an opportunity, and Walkup's going to say, I'm going to do it myself. Pass to the far side. Far wing, centering pass, nobody home. Here come Highlanders the other way. 1-on-3. Shot comes in just wide of Hutch. That's kicked aside by Walkup. Walkup plays it off the boards to the line, but still not out. Finally an opportunity to get it out. Johnston into the neutral zone, but taken over right there by Wolf. Wolf, high slot, shot doesn't go through. Back in behind the net. Puck deflected up and lay there for a moment. Waning seconds, 15 seconds remaining in this first period. This top line out there causing trouble along with Franti. Franti playing. High slot, back to Pietla. Big stop by Hutch in the waning seconds of this period. And we get a whistle with 3.3 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that bounced off the ref's head.
Don't go anywhere during the first intermission. Patty Cesarini joins me and Mike as we're breaking down the first period highlights and bringing you more on Game Time Live.
Oh, boy, as the ref, we hope he's okay, but as he's catching himself, the puck hit him in the head. The boys are out here, and you can see Walkup and Wolf, the pair of 24s right now. They are wishing each other Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, a lot of niceties going on. But the rivalry is starting to get going, Sean. The last couple of shifts, you can see Brighton is getting under the skin of a Howell. If that happens and Howell gets off their game, Sean, this could be a good night for Brighton.
3.3 seconds remaining. Escola to take this draw. Wheeler takes it for Brighton. Won by Howell, but that is going to do it for the end of this period. What an exciting period it was. Each team with a power play goal, but that extra goal for Brighton is the difference so far in this one. After 17 minutes of play, the home team, the Brighton Bulldogs, have a 2-1 lead over the Howell Highlanders. In just a moment, we're going to throw it down to the Brighton bench, and I know our own Patty Cesarini is going to have a conversation with the head coach of the Brighton Bulldogs. So Patty's there. Let's throw it down to Patty. Patty?
Coach, your team handled the pressure of Howell's forecheck really well, came out, capitalized on a power play. How did this first period set the tone for this game for your group?
Yeah, I think it was the perfect period for us. We knew what that top line is with Storm and Eskel and Wolf. Those guys are really good. So it's trying to contain them. They're going to get theirs throughout the game. They're going to get their chances, and just got to keep playing and trying to contain those guys.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sean?
Great stuff, Patty. Really appreciate it. We'll take a break, and we'll come back and look at some of those First period highlights what a dandy it was. What else would you expect when Howell and Brighton get together here on Game Time Live?
In a world where the magic of movies transports us to new realms, there exists a place where curiosity takes flight. Lawrence Technological University, where curiosity isn't just encouraged, it's celebrated. Here, minds ignite and dreams take shape, where innovation isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. Explore the magic of discovery. Experience the wonder of Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Bogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
If playing college sports is your dream, don't wait for a college coach to find you. Recruit yourself. At Lawrence Tech, we're looking for student athletes. LTU competes in the NAIA with 24 varsity sports and athletic scholarships. Explore new degree programs like sport management, where sports meets cutting-edge education. Visit LTURecruitYourself.com and just fill out the questionnaire. It's that easy. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Follow the pathway of curiosity to the ground floor of possibilities. Change the world we live in by designing the world of tomorrow. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. The College of Architecture and Design at Lawrence Technological University has all the technology and tools to make magic. Be curious. Make magic.
Welcome back into State Champs Game Time Live, where Brighton leads 2-1 against Howell. I'm with Mike and Sean, and we're going to break down everything in the first period for you guys. So I will turn it over to you guys right here, right now. Mike, thoughts on the first period and really how well that this Brighton team handled the Howell forecheck?
Yeah, they did, and they kept them to the outside, Patty. Those are some big bodies, and they did a great job handling Storm, Wolf, and Escola. But I have a feeling Coach Cavisto's really going to be hitting on, they got to get the pucks out of their blue line, and like a typical Brighton team, they've got to block more shots and take some pressure off Reese Hutchinson, who's making every save that he has to.
And Sean, how are you approaching this? If you're looking at Howell, how do they just continue to work through some of that stuff? Again, that heavy forecheck was a big point of emphasis in trying to defeat that. How do they continue to keep that going and keep their head held high here?
No, Patty, I think you bring up a great point. It's not the result that they want right now, but I think with the pressure that top line continues to put on that defense core, it starts to wear them down. And you know, we talked so much about it at the beginning of the game. Chad Pietla creates so much when he's out there with those big bodies down low. There are so many opportunities, and attempt after attempt after attempt, you start to get worn down. So, yeah, you're trailing 2-1 right now, but if I'm Coach Robertson, I don't know if I'm changing too much of what I'm doing to be in this game right now.
Absolutely. And let's take a look at your top 20 rankings. This was the first one that came out. And I know, Sean, you had a little bit of trouble deciding who was going to take over that number one spot between CC, Heartland, and Howell. Those guys all beat up on each other. What was the decision-making process like for you?
It was a lot of bit of trouble for the whole rankings. Patty, it really was. I mean, there are so many darn good teams in the state right now. Heck, Mike, before we even started this broadcast, we watched two of them with South Lyon and Huron Valley. I mean, two teams that could make their claim for it. But, Patty, to answer your question properly, CC beat Howell. Howell beat Heartland. Heartland beat CC. I didn't know what to do, so you know what? I didn't have a three-sided coin. I played best 2 out of 3 rock, paper, scissors, and somehow CC won. No, all jokes aside, I think Catholic Central, when you look at what they've been able to do 6 years running, and I think they've been playing so well the last couple of weeks, I gave it to them, but especially coming off of what Howell did, Mike, to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. If you wanted to make the claim for Howell, I'm not going to complain too much. If you wanted to make the claim for Heartland, I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, you can. All 3 teams are getting hot at the right time. In Heartland, you got Bogatitis and Stephen scoring goals. Out in CC, you've got Masick and Dye moving the puck from the D to board. We've seen this top line here at Howell. All 3 teams with goalies, Sabala, Rayburn, and Kogut out in CC making the right saves. You want to put them in any order you want. I agree with your order, Sean.
Well, as I always like to say, at least when we were doing the Volleyball Player of the Year award and in the volleyball rankings, we will see how everything shakes out as the season goes on. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. And when we come back, we will get things rolling right here on in the second period on State Champs Game Time Live.
In a world where the magic of movies transports us to new realms, there exists a place where curiosity takes flight. Lawrence Technological University, where curiosity isn't just encouraged, it's celebrated. Here, minds ignite and dreams take shape, where innovation isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. Explore the magic of discovery. Experience the wonder of Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Bogan, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
If playing college sports is your dream, don't wait for a college coach to find you. Recruit yourself. At Lawrence Tech, we're looking for student athletes. LTU competes in the NAIA with 24 varsity sports and athletic scholarships. Explore new degree programs like sport management, where sports meets cutting-edge education. Visit LTURecruitYourself.com and just fill out the questionnaire. It's that easy. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Follow the pathway of curiosity to the ground floor of possibilities. Change the world we live in by designing the world of tomorrow. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. The College of Architecture and Design at Lawrence Technological University has all the technology and tools to make magic. Be curious. Make magic.
And welcome back into Brighton, where after the first period of play, Brighton holds a 2-1 lead over the Howell Highlanders. Mike, we look at some of the highlights. An exciting first period she was.
Yep, that first period lived up to everything we thought it would be. Both teams doing what they need to do to win. Howell putting pressure down there, possessing the puck. They probably owned the puck possession by a mile, but then Brighton getting that puck out and taking advantage of the few opportunities that they get. I expect Brighton's going to make some adjustments here, Sean. As I was just saying, I can't believe how many shots got through for Howell. I'm not used to that. Brighton's usually a pretty good shot blocking team.
You know what's interesting is you have veteran coaches on both benches, but as Patty talked about, you have Jay Kiernan on Brighton's bench, a young player who didn't play college hockey not that long ago. And on the Howell bench, you might remember this young man at Livonia Stevenson and Schoolcraft College. Coach Phelps doing such a fantastic job. Andrew Elliott really doing great stuff for the Highlanders. And Mike, I told Andrew I'm going to put a vote in for him for the Assistant of the Year.
I think if I had a vote, Sean, I would agree with you. And he tried to dodge us and avoid us in the warming room there because he knew we were going to get on him about it.
Yeah, it's always nice to see those guys that Mike, I mean, a year ago at this time, this kid was lighting it up for Schoolcraft, and they're certainly an exciting program. At Lawrence Tech, we know about Lawrence Tech, so much good hockey around here. And now on the bench for the Howell Highlanders. Second period about to commence. Brighton 2, Highlanders 1.
Yeah, I'm very interested, John, to see if we get a little bit more out of that third line. The couple of shifts that they had, the Howell third line, that is, with Mayberger, Doolin, and Sturls, when they were out there, they caused a lot of chaos, and they kept the puck actually down in the offensive end. Let's see if they get themselves some more ice time.
Escala wins this draw. Wilkie King over to Pietla. Pietla just going to dump it in the corner. Luke Storm gives chase. He's the first one there. In that dead zone, if you will, for our broadcast vantage point, and thrown right back there. Escala, as that puck up into the protective netting, draw stays deep in that Brighton zone.
The Brighton defense really has to start getting to that puck, Sean. They've got to stop giving up first touches to the Howell forecheckers.
Pietla just throws it into the corner again, giving chase down there as Bozak. He's working in behind his net. Bozak puts on the brakes, gets it taken away. Wolf on it now. Wolf tried a little give and go there. Opportunity in front. Oh, had to poke that away. Was Hutch. Quick poke check there. Finally out into neutral zone. But promptly on it again is Storm. Storm spins, turns, tries to wheel it over to Escala. Can't do it, but Storm says, okay, I'll try her again. Gives it up to Wolf. Wolf tries to get it over to Escala. Tipping it to himself, coming the other way with speed. That's Wheeler. Rayburn behind him and lay there. He didn't know it was there. Oh, what a heck of an effort there by Wheeler.
A great save by Rayburn there. He didn't know it was there, but he got just enough of it to keep it out of the net.
This line's been out there for a while, Mike. Storm on it. Franti out there as well. Highlanders make change. Bulldogs content just to knock it in the zone. Bryce Pietla. He's on it. Gets it taken away. Good job there, putting the pressure on by McKenzie. Out to the neutral zone, controlled by Giroux. Sent back in by Peterson, but too high. That's off the ceiling. And the draw will stay in the neutral zone.
Now, right now, that matchup that they have with that top line with Wheeler, Wysocki, and Whitlock are doing such a good job of creating back pressure with their back checking, Sean. They're creating a little bit of havoc.
Bryce Pietla wins that draw back. Looking to pick up some speed now are Highlanders. They throw it in deep, fire it. He's on it. Back to Stevens at the point. Stevens goes D-to-D. Wrist shot comes in. Deflects off Hutch. Rebound lay there for a second. Centering pass. Nobody home. Bulldogs with an opportunity to get it out. First one back however, is Avery. Daniel Avery, wearing the number 4. Gives it up to Stevens. Keep an eye on this young man moving up. You can see that confidence with this rush. He's on it again. Look at Stevens. Plays it up to himself. In behind the net. Stevens still on it. Throws it back in front. Trying to get a little something going now. Our Highlanders, they trail 2-1. 14:15 to go here in this second period.
See a very purposeful D-zone coverage, Sean. If they lose possession, they're just keeping them on the boards as far away from Hutch as they can.
Centering pass just misses Nick Smith. Highlanders first one back there. That's Flamini. Boy, high slot area. Dangerous there. Not able to get it out. Oh, big hit there, and you know what that's going to be.
Yeah.
No doubt about that one.
That you just can't do that. That's a very vulnerable position that I believe that's 19 McKenzie was in. You see the numbers, Sean. You can't get them. Brighton's really coming out, and they've made some adjustments. They're getting the puck out of their zone. They're getting it in, and they're getting a little bit of a forecheck going. That was 15. Wysocki. Again, but that was going to be a first touch on the dump in, so they're starting to turn the tables a little bit. Let's see if they can control this power play.
Win off the draw, back to walk up. Look at all the space. Whiffs on it. Puck lay there for a moment, still controlled by Bulldogs. McKenzie throws it in deep. Rayburn closes that down. Bulldogs on the power play, Mike. They have a power play tally already. Both teams have a power play tally.
And there's kind of a double advantage here. You've got the extra man, but what you also have is Pietla, Storm, and Wolf out there for another shift, working on those legs getting heavy.
Duffney with Peterson and Clement out there. Clement has one of the goals. Peterson, far boards, nearly gets it taken away. Plays it in behind the net. Opportunity to get it out to the line, not out. Boy, big deflection in front. Finally able to clear it, our Highlanders. Forced back in his own zone is McKenzie. Keeping an eye on him is Storm. Brighton forced back in with that aggressive forecheck. Escala in as well. Escala still on it. Boy, look at this.
Yeah, but that's a lot of extra ice for your big line right there. But let's keep a look on Walkup as he comes up.
Here's Walkup. Plays it between his legs, a little too cute and knocked away. That's Storm up to Escala. Escala with a little drag. Quick glove hand there by Hutch, no problem. Gets the draw with 49 seconds left in this Brighton power play. 12:38 to go here in this second period. Bulldogs on top 2-1.
And you hit it right on the head. A little too cute there out of Walkup. Not only just a little too cute, but it was the end of his shift. You got to get that puck in, maintain possession, and set up your power play.
Bulldogs are trying to do just that right now. Johnston behind his own net. Opportunity to skate it out now. Wheeler leaves it at the line, trying to get it back in front. Highlanders off the boards and out. 25 seconds remaining in this power play opportunity. Luke Weaver behind his own net. Looks up. Now he's going to skate it out with speed. Gets it to the line. Just out over the line. Iola has to start over. Now it's Johnston. Johnston's just going to shoot it in. Rayburn tries to stop it but slows it down. Opportunity to clear, and they do to center ice. Bozak throws it back in. Rayburn behind his own net. He's going to shoot it near side. Still on it. Weaver throws it back deep. Wheeler tries to get it back to the point. Here come Highlanders the other way. Escala with Bryce Patilla. Play called at the line.
That was a great kill by Howell right there, Sean. Not only in their zone, but they took that blue line away and was not letting any easy zone entries for Brighton to the point to where they just had to blindly dump it in, lose possession, puck back out of the zone. And as that power play came to an end, they actually Brighton got a little bit lucky. They were at the end of a long shift, and Howell was a little bit fresher.
All right, so they bring it just outside the Brighton zone. It's going to be Wysocki versus Escala. Escala kicks it back to Stevens. Stevens throws it far side. Boy, these Highlander defensemen just move so well with the puck, Mike. I mean, Pietla's otherworldly, but you see all of them do that.
And Coach Robertson talked about practice and the compete level making each other better, and I think that's what we're seeing the result of.
That's Daniel Avery, the defenseman down there with Wolf, working on Bozak. Highlanders come out with it, keeping it in deep. Avery back in behind the net, avoids a hit. Back to Storm. Storm tries to throw it far side. Stevens has to start over with a backhand into the zone. Bozak coming near side though. Highlanders first ones there. Back to the line. Escala, far side. Centering pass doesn't come through. Marco Wolf overskates it. Now it's Storm on it again. Storm twisting, turning. Takes a hit by Wysocki. Gets some support. But every time this top line's on the ice, Mike, you see the shot comes in. Boy, knocked Hutch's stick away. They send it back his way. Here's that Highlander pressure again. Escala, high slot, dishes it off. Looking, waiting, trying back in the high slot. Escala, backhand pass. Oh, a pass, other side, just misses.
Just when it looked like they were getting a little tired, they look a little energized out here right now.
Wolf at the line. He backshanded in. Stevens down there. Takes a big hit from Walkup. Now it's Wolf on it. Wolf again. Back to the point to Avery. Avery stops, waits, looks, still looking. Good job going down and blocking that shot. You could hear the boys on the bench applaud Landon Whitlock for that. Still with this pressure, finally out. Here come Bulldogs. Wheeler the other way. Good speed by Escala to rub them out against the end boards. This top line's been out there for an eternity, Mike. Storm backhands it ahead. That's Stevens leading the way with Wolf in front. No call there, Mike. I think everybody stopped for a second and looked around.
We checked both refs to see, and I think he went down a little bit too easy.
At the end of a shift as well. That was a long, long shift for that top line. Here comes Peterson the other way. First one there is Pietla. He gets some help from his defense partner, Wilkie King. But Bulldogs back on it. Shot from a tough angle, no problem for Rayburn. Hey, are you looking for high school hockey scores, standing stats? The Michigan Hockey Coaches Association say, go to the hub. Visit mihshockeyhub.com.
Not only just a long shift there for that first line, Sean, we're 8 minutes into this period, and I think they played probably about 6 of the minutes, including that penalty kill. We're going to have to keep an eye on that.
That shot deflected up. And here comes Bryce Pietla the other way. Bryce Pietla centering pass. First one there, however, to make sure it goes out of harm's way is Weaver. Kept in, however, wrist shot, no problem for Hutch. He's going to say, I'm going to hold on to this.
And you can see where maybe the forwards for Howell are getting a little heavy-legged, but Sean, the pressure they're putting on, the pounding they're putting on down in that Brighton zone, the legs look even heavier on the Brighton defensemen. They're really putting 100% in every time they're on that ice to keep those big bodies away from the net.
Of course, TJ Hensick, you might remember that name, pretty darn good hockey player. On the bench with head coach Keith Robertson on the other side. Bulldogs come in transition the other way. Landon Clement just knocks it in behind the net. Nick Smith gives chase. He's rubbed off but still battling. That one cleared up into the Bulldog bench.
And here we have a look at a little bit of the depth with Clement out there with Duffney going up against the third line as a quick shift. Was wondering if they would give that top line a little bit of rest, but Coach Robertson's like, hey, my big guys got me here. My big guys are going to drive the bus home too. Get back out there.
Wolf, Escala, and of course the dangerous Luke Storm. He's got one tonight. Howell's only one tonight. 2-1 game. It's been 2-1 for a while as well, Mike.
Yep.
Puck to the point, shot in. He never saw that. Rayburn never saw that shot from Walkup.
That was a nice shot out of Walkup. He fanned on the last two that he had. You knew he was going to get a good one on there.
With speed, Escala drops it for Wolf. Wolf back to Escala. Nice tic-tac-toe, but a big stop by Hutch. He's been up to the task tonight. Mike, don't forget you got that 3 stars tonight, okay? Can I make a suggestion early on?
Please.
That goaltender in white, down at the other end. He's been pretty good tonight.
There's a couple circles on that name right now.
Here's Storm trying to change that right now. Storm to Wolf. Another stop by Hutch. 7.5 to go here. On it again. Wolf with the shot. Another stop by Hutch and up into the protective netting.
And again, Hutchinson standing tall. Again, as we said coming into this game, he's one of the hottest goalies in the state. 2 of his last 3 games have been shutouts. But what I'm really liking here now, and it's an adjustment after the first period, is they're not only keeping Howell outside, they're more aggressive on them. They're putting bodies on them. They're trying to get on that puck. They're not just letting them skate around and make those moves. They're doing a much better job in their own zone.
Oh, that dangerous off the draw, and Franti was rooting down in front as that puck came straight through.
As we always say, Sean, it all starts in the face-off circle.
Sure does. Bryce Pietla tried to win that one forward again. Opportunity the other way for Brighton. Can't get it out. Kept in. Highlanders. Franti with a shot. Trying to get it through a screened Hutch. Franti on it again. To the far point. Back to Franti. Franti on the backhand. Scores!
Oh. That just was a seeing eye goal, Sean, by Franti. A little bit of traffic in front of the net. Take that backhand and get it onto the net. Hey, you can't score if you don't shoot, right? They say you got to get that puck to the net as we get a replay here.
Heck of a shift there by number 12, Lincoln Franti, Mike.
Yeah, and he took that room. As I was just saying, that they were getting more aggressive. That's one where they just let them take that room, and it seemed like a harmless backhand, but they say the goalies really can't judge where that puck is coming off that backhand. They get tricky. That one found the 5-hole.
We're all tied up, 2 apiece. What else would you expect out here in Brighton?
Yeah.
Trying to change that now is Storm. The top line out there again for Howell. They have been dominant tonight. Puck lay there for a moment. Still there. Oh, Hutch covered. Now, we don't have an official shots on goal here, but I can tell you what. Hutch has made a ton of stops, Mike. Maybe you can check the official stats as we look at it live, but my goodness gracious. It seems like he's made a lot of stops here tonight. Pietla in his own zone. See if he picks up some speed here. He does. Boy, can he move. Keep an eye on that young man. We'll get a look at those official numbers in just a second as Wysocki clears it out. Here comes Wheeler the other way. Wheeler puts on the brakes. The trailer. Weaver just a wide. Wysocki keeps it in. Wheeler on it again. Back to the point, just over the line. Bosak has to retrieve it. Thrown in and intercepted. Now Storm. Storm takes it wide. Centering pass. Backhand comes in. Hutch with the stop. Eskel on top of it. Still on top of it, Wolf.
They're wearing
comes
him
outside
down.
to Flamini. That goes just a wide, and this is going to clear all the way back into the Howell zone. Giving chase down there is Wilkie King. Wilkie King behind his own net. Oh, dangerous play in front. And here come Highlanders the other way. Sturos. Egan Sturos with a shot. That is tipped wide. Brighton sends it right back into neutral zone. Flamini. He's just going to risk that one in. First one there is Walkup. No, it hops over his stick. Back to the point. Kept in now. Heikkinen. He gets it taken away. And that sends Walkup away. Walkup gets it poked away. Up in the paraphernalia, but kept in by Bulldogs. Nick Smith misses it, coming the other way, Highlanders. Brighton has to start over in their own end. It's Giroux. Giroux looking, takes a hit from Heikkinen. Puck along the near boards and finally cleared out. Flamini takes a big hit. Looked up at the right time, and I think he gave the hit as he was trying to absorb the hit.
Yeah, I think Bozak took the worst end of that one, Sean, but a great job stepping up.
No doubt about that. Franti, he's got a goal tonight. Over to Fire It. Back into the neutral zone. They have to start over. Once again, it's Lincoln Franti, the sophomore, over to Heikkinen. Heikkinen over to Feierich. Bryce Pietla has to start over in his own zone to Stevens. Stevens just tries to chip it in. Finally, Franti does. Back to the line. And Bulldogs try to come the other way. Johnston's knocked off the puck. Pietla plays it to himself. Pietla with a shot. Didn't miss by much. Boy, these kids can skate. My goodness gracious. Stevens is going to have to come back and start things over for Highlanders.
Yeah, the skill on this ice tonight, Sean, is just a pleasure to see, and I'm glad they're playing high school hockey.
No doubt about that. My goodness. Wheeler plays it to himself, tries to get it out in front, can't. Here's an opportunity in front. Boy, chipped away, shot comes in, Wysocki. High up on Rayburn. And here comes Storm. 3 of them going the other way. Stevens on the rush as well. Avery up there. Storm holding on to it. Gets it over to Wolf. Skating the other way is Walkup. Walkup going to take the long way out of the zone. It works. Walkup plays it to himself. Nice move. Just a little too far. Wysocki with a shot. Didn't miss by much. Knocked down in front is Wheeler. And Escala going to play it to the far wing. Move there by Storm. Look at Storm picking up speed. Look at that big body Storm. Hutch going to cover that up with 2:46 to go. Hey, at Lawrence Technological University, take your game to the next level. Complete in scholarship-level college athletics while earning a world-class degree. Scholarships are available at lturecruityourself.com.
Sean, we're watching a next-level player in Luke Storm. He's really doing a great job, but one thing I noticed, earlier in the period, he cuts that puck to the net. Later in the period, when the legs are a little heavy, he took it around the net. Both teams are showing some heavy legs because of the effort that they're giving out here tonight.
Wilkie King over to Pietla. Pietla chips it in deep, but the first one there is Weaver to the line, but not out. So he says, I'll try here again, and just misses Duffy. Wilkie King forced into his own zone, behind his own net. Gonna leave it there for Pietla. Chad Pietla skating through the neutral zone, drops it there. Shot comes in. Hutch says enough of that, and he's gonna glove it down with the draw staying in that Brighton zone.
Man, you cannot give that Chad Pietla an inch, Sean, because he's going to take it a mile. Right there, Landon Clement just kind of backed off him a little bit, was going to try to force him off to the boards, and the next thing you know, Pietla's gone, right? But let's keep an eye here. These final 2 minutes is where Brighton really started to tick at the end of the first period. Let's see if they can repeat it here.
Bryce Pietla wins another draw. Boy, he's won a few tonight. Nice play to himself, Avery. Stevens. Back to Avery. Avery to Stevens. Back to Avery. Avery with a shot. Rebound lay there for a moment. Finally an opportunity to get it out by Bulldogs. Chipped ahead. Bouncing puck. Played ahead. Backhand, forehand. Big stop by Rayburn. McKenzie played it to himself, Mike. And I think he also drew a penalty.
I'm going to think the penalty came after, but we'll get a replay maybe and see. But after the play, there was some cross-checks, or did they get him with a hook? Yeah, because there's Pietla, who they called it on right there. So they got him with the stick, got a little parallel. They're going to call that every time, right? But I liked what I saw. McKenzie getting that puck, going to the net. But then that was some of your third liners there for Howell out there, because McKenzie gave a little love tap to Rayburn, like, hey, how you doing? What do you think Santa's going to bring you for Christmas? And they didn't like it, and he ate some wood there.
Brighton with a power play late in this second period. Walk-up forced back into his own zone. Storm with a watchful eye. Boy, look at that battle. All the way from one end of the ice. Does that surprise you? Shouldn't.
No. That was a battle of
still on it.
Boys.
Look at Storm, still on it. Short-handed attempt. Hutch has enough of that.
That was a nice release on that shot, too. Sometimes it's not how hard the shot is, but how quick it is.
Hey, stick around for the second intermission. Patty Cesarini tries to bring on a special guest. That's a surprise, okay? We'll break down the second period and much more right here on Game Time Live. Brighton with a power play. Coming the other side. That's Nick Smith. Can't get her going. Peterson comes over for support as Escala kills off precious time. Peterson's going to drop it. Walk up with a home run pass, misses Nick Smith, and that's going to go the length of the ice for the icing. $1:12 left in this period. Twos are wild. Second period, 2-2 your score.
I don't think Howell wants to test it too much, but their top guys are really doing a good job killing some penalties and putting some pressure back on Brighton. You just don't want to use up all that energy on a PK.
Wilkie King throws it in deep. Walk up, goes to retrieve it. Walk up, head up, drops it.
1 minute remaining in the second period.
McKenzie near side to Peterson. Peterson back to Walkup. Walkup loses control for a second. Howell, Franti able to muscle it out. Could be a 2-on-1. Franti looks, passes. Couldn't connect. Boy, a good opportunity there for Howell. They're on it again, Mike. There's Franti. He's had an active second period. That one knocked away by McKenzie. Good play. Puck in the corner, though. I'll tell you what, I really like Lincoln Franti's game, Mike, even without the goal. Yeah, but now Bulldogs taken down there. Fans clamoring for a call. They're not going to get it, and that one muscled down the ice by the above-aforementioned number 12, Lincoln Franti.
He's been all over the ice. 5-on-5 power play, shorthanded. He's really making his presence known.
Here's Johnston. Waning moments of this Bulldog power play and second period. Slices it in front. Johnston's going to catch it, and that's going to do it for the end of this period. Don't you dare go anywhere. I mean, like right now, because in just a second, Patty Cesarini's going to have a conversation with Coach Robertson. And Mike, just in general, we've got what should be an incredible third period of action ahead of us as well. 2-2 your score after the second period of play. Why don't we throw it down to Patty with Coach Robertson. Patty?
Coach, your team's doing a great job on the penalty kills. You knot this thing up. What more do you need to see from your group in the third period?
They're just going to find a way to get behind Reese Hutchinson, right? He's a heck of a goalie. Get more traffic in front, more secondary scoring opportunities, but they're a good team. We're going to battle to the end.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. When we come back, again, like Sean said, I will be having a conversation with a very special guest. You're watching State Champs Game Time Live.
In a world where the magic of movies transports us to new realms, there exists a place where curiosity takes flight. Lawrence Technological University, where curiosity isn't just encouraged, it's celebrated. Here, minds ignite and dreams take shape, where innovation isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. Explore the magic of discovery. Experience the wonder of Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Bogan, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
If playing college sports is your dream, don't wait for a college coach to find you. Recruit yourself. At Lawrence Tech, we're looking for student athletes. LTU competes in the NAIA with 24 varsity sports and athletic scholarships. Explore new degree programs like sport management, where sports meets cutting-edge education. Visit LTURecruitYourself.com and just fill out the questionnaire. It's that easy. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Follow the pathway of curiosity to the ground floor of possibilities. Change the world we live in by designing the world of tomorrow. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. The College of Architecture and Design at Lawrence Technological University has all the technology and tools to make magic. Be curious. Make magic.
Welcome back into State Champs Game Time Live. And before Coach Cavisto took over Brighton hockey, there was a man at the helm for 25 years. He tallied up 467 wins, 5 state championships, and was the 2023 co-recipient of the John Mariucci Award. And I have that legend standing right next to me right now, Paul Muggeth. Coach, when you take a look at your illustrious career and what you've done for Brighton hockey, how does it make you feel?
Well, I'm humbled by the fact that I got to be here. I mean, when I started here, the programs, the high school programs weren't like they are now, and so just to spend the time, and really it was my relationships with the players, my assistant coaches, and their families. So it was community. It was a community kind of thing, and I enjoyed every moment. It was just a good time in my life.
You had to build the program brick by brick. What did it take to see that success?
It took discipline. I mean, the players when I came in were very disciplined, and so it took us to be disciplined with them, and be respectful to officials, to coaches, and to themselves. So, and I think one of the things we brought into the program kind of later in the game was that they had to love one another. If they didn't love each other, it was not going to be a very good possibility to win. So,
and one of your players was Kurt Cavisto. He played for you, was an assistant for you as well. What did you see in him as an assistant coach that you knew that would make him a great head coach?
So first of all, when he first came, he was real small, and so he was our manager the first year. But I found early in our practices that he was leading the pace in even practices. So he played for me for 3 years after that, and then as an assistant, I forget where I ran into him, but we got talking, and I invited him to come, and he's great X's and O's systems. He knows all that. He's experienced that at Michigan State. And so I really appreciate the fact that he brought a different perspective, that, together we did some really good things.
And he has led now the Brighton hockey program to 3 state final appearances as a head coach. Does he ever call on you for any advice?
Yes. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, not advice about the team, but advice about players. There's always an issue with a player, so Kurt will call me and say, what do you think about this situation? It's more players, and a friend of mine and I, who I coach with, we do the fall team. So the fall team where they can't be up. So we do the fall team and really have some fun, get to know the kids. It's really to get to know the kids. So now I have a relationship with the boys, and I love it.
I know they love having you around here too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, when we come back, we will be heading into the third period, so make sure you don't go anywhere. Stick around here on State Champs Game Time Live.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonneborn, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
If playing college sports is your dream, don't wait for a college coach to find you. Recruit yourself At Lawrence Tech, we're looking for student athletes. LTU competes in the NAIA with 24 varsity sports and athletic scholarships. Explore new degree programs like sport management, where sports meets cutting-edge education. Visit LTURecruitYourself.com and just fill out the questionnaire. It's that easy. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Follow the pathway of curiosity to the ground floor of possibilities. Change the world we live in by designing the world of tomorrow. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. The College of Architecture and Design at Lawrence Technological University has all the technology and tools to make magic. Be curious. Make magic.
Well, we told you you'd be in for a treat tonight, and a physical treat at that, Mike.
Yeah, and a physical by everybody on the ice. There's not one or two guys, but every one of these guys is giving so much. You can just see them wearing themselves down. Both teams, by the end of this period, need a break and an intermission.
And there's your only goal of the period, the equalizer. Lincoln Franti. I ran into his uncle downstairs, a friend of ours, and he had some high compliments for his nephew.
And I think we had some compliments for his nephew as that period was going along. He might have been the best player on the ice in the second period, Sean. He really moved up that list that I need to keep track of.
That's all on you, man. Listen, maybe we can ask Patty to help you, but that's all on you. Howell making their way onto the ice, and of course, here in Brighton, who let the dogs out? Blaring as well.
How great was that interview by Patty, Sean, between periods, and to see Coach Paul, a guy, I don't know if you're aware of this, I used to work out with him. How about that?
I never knew that.
Utah, we used to work out right here at the rink.
I never knew that.
Yep, and I think me and him kept each other at a good pace, you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, I was coaching at Grosse Pointe when he started to build this program, and we started to hear about this program coming out of Brighton, and we were like, really? And I remember the first time we scheduled them, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Coach Cavisto owned us. He was that good when he was playing, but that was that start. That was great to hear him talk about the beginning of this program and then what Coach Cavisto's brought it to now.
Coach Cavisto, of course, national champion for people that aren't aware. Won a national championship with Michigan State back in 2007.
And
Green.
How about that team that had what did he say, 5 guys from Michigan high school hockey, and Abdicator, Buttery he played with, Petrie, and Rowe, I believe, out of, he might have been a Mona Shores guy, I believe. I could be wrong on that. It was a while ago, but there was 5 guys that he played with that were, including himself, out of Michigan high school hockey.
Shots on goal, Mike, through 2 periods of play?
We've got 29 by Howell, with 27 of them being stopped by that red-hot Hutchinson, and 16 shots and 14 saves by Rayburn. Something I want us to keep an eye on, me and you folks at home. I don't know if it's the plan or just the way it's happening, but Brighton seems to be getting a lot of high shots on Rayburn, and they kind of handcuff him, and he's been giving up some rebounds. Let's see if that keeps going here in the third period.
Brighton's going to send it in deep. Rayburn lets it through. Wysocki on top of it, though. Boy, and pass in front. Lay there for just a moment. And Highlanders, of course, back at full strength now, Mike, to start this third period. Here comes Storm. He's been good tonight. What else would you expect? He's got one of the Highlander goals. Taken over, however, by Whitlock. Whitlock leaves it there. And the whistle blows. Bozak said, can't you blow the whistle just a second earlier and I can avoid another big hit?
He's been in the middle of a lot of stuff. I like that kid's game, but you see what they're doing, Sean. As soon as Storm gets on those boards, they're not going after his big body. They're going after those hands that control that puck, and they're really trying to neutralize him.
Wrist shot comes in, no problem for Hutch. Maybe by design, as it was number 11, Matt Wilkie King, just throwing it in. And they'll allow Luke Storm, this is going to be Escala taking this draw against Wheeler. Lay there for a moment. Escala kicks it over to Storm. Back to Escala. Escala circling back to the point. Pietla. Pietla waits. Now takes off. Still on it. Boy, so strong on the puck. That's a defenseman. Look at Bozak. Speaking of strong, ties him up. Great defensive play there, Mike.
They really like this matchup against this top line, Sean, and they've done a good job tonight. I have one big circle around that whole line.
That's never a bad decision. That puck goes the length of the ice for icing. 15:57 to go in this one. 2-2 game. What else would you expect here in Livingston County?
Yeah, this is exactly as we were talking. Depending on what Brighton's game was going to look like, this was the game that we saw happen.
Alex Johnson wins that back. Walk up behind his own net to Giroux. Giroux gets it out into neutral zone. Puck lay there for a moment. Chip forward to Peterson. Peterson throws it up to Johnston. Johnston's going to be the first one there. Avery plays the man. Avery's still on it with two Bulldogs down there. Getting some support. That's Johnston on it again. He's pinned against the board by Bryce Pietla. Look at this battle.
And this is exactly what Brighton's going to want. They want to use up all that Howell Highlander energy in their own zone. They're getting shift change, and they're just retooling and bringing it back, making them go 200 feet, Sean.
Boy, the game within the game, you should have seen Stevens and Walkup still doing battle well after that play went into the corner. I was fascinated, Mike, just watching it. And there they are.
They are getting to know each other. Those are two mean hockey players. That's the way we like to see hockey.
There's Franti trying to cause some trouble again. That connecting pass misses. Backhanded forward by Nick Smith into the corner. He's got Landon Clement down there. He's got one with Smith. Duffney rooting down in front. Now comes along the near boards. Duffney gets a piece of that to keep it in, gets some support down there as well from Smith. Back to the point, kept in by Bulldogs. Far side now, wrist shot comes in, deflected wide by Rayburn. Now an opportunity to come the other way, Sturos. Sturos drops it for Stevens. Stevens has to restart. He's just going to send it in deep. First one there is Weaver. He twists, nice move back there to avoid Sturos, and he's going to pick up some speed coming out of his own end. Off the boards, too far for icing.
Well, that was a nice early shift. You can see what Coach Robertson's doing, getting that third line out early as this game stays tight. He knows he's going to want his big dogs out there. But I'm going to go back again. What a shift by Steven, Sean. He was in the middle of everything, and I think the guys trying to hit him took the worst of it. As Coach Robertson said, he is just a mean hockey player. We saw it on that shift.
Escala to take this draw for Highlanders. Controlled by the Bulldogs. Walkup just sends it into the corner. Bozak, he's done a lot of work there. Centering pass, score! There's Luke Storm. Just like that. Lightning pass, lightning release, and the Highlanders on top.
Yeah, it started with a Brighton win on the faceoff, but those big bodies attacked that puck on Howell's. Great movement off the faceoff. They get the possession down on the board here, and I believe it's looking.
I think it's Escala, isn't it?
I think it's Escala, and he gets it. And again, we talked about that release that Storm had. Sometimes it's not how hard your shot is, it's the release on it. And I think even Wolf got a touchdown there on the board too. They are so tough to defend on those boards.
Highlanders back on top, so the home team has some work to do. Wysocki back to Bozak to walk up. Far boards kept in by Highlanders. Walk up, tries to clear it out, can't. High slot. Oh, Hutch had to be careful there. Boy, unrelenting this top line, Mike. They just keep coming.
And they're so skilled and so dangerous. They create their own space when they're possessing that puck. And you saw a couple times out there, Walkup, a very confident, competent defenseman, had to give a little bit of a gap there. Both of them resulting in shots on net, one of them a goal.
Bryce Pietla wins his back, nobody there, an opportunity for Peterson to skate it out. Peterson gets to center ice, gonna dump it in. Rayburn leaves it there for a moment. Oh, dangerously, the puck rolled back in behind the net as Brighton trying to get that pressure on, trying to get the equalizer with 13:20 to go. But now Highlanders on the puck. They come out the other way. Bryce Pietla has his pass. Deflect off the skate of Weaver. Avery's just gonna dump it in the corner. Give chase. First one there is Domzalski. He gets some help down there from Weaver. Knocks it forward to McKenzie, but promptly knocked back in by Stevens. Domzalski, the sophomore, first one there. Starts one way, now the other. Throws into the corner, absorbs a big hit. Another big hit right in front of us. Boy, these boys like to hit, don't they? Here comes Pietla. Bryce Pietla, far wing. Centering pass, just a wide. Highlanders buzzing again. Now it's Stevens, centering pass. That one knocked aside. Finally, an opportunity to get it out. Throw it to the far wing. You hear those bumps? Guys are hitting everything.
And Howell is feeling it right now. They're hitting everything.
Home run pass coming near side. Here's Smith. Centering pass. What a stop by Rayburn. Puck lay there for just a second. There were two Bulldogs in deep, Mike. They couldn't convert. Back to the line. Walk up just throws her in deep.
Great opportunity by Duffney there, getting it to the net. And again, another player going to the net and getting the rebound.
And here comes Fyrick. Fyrick loses it to the line. Promptly knocked back in, but Howell's got a touch up, which gives Walkup just a moment perhaps. Walkup now. That pass doesn't connect. Deflected a couple times. Rayburn's going to have to come out, and he leaves it right there. Now coming near side with some speed. Far wing. Centering pass doesn't connect. An opportunity to come the other way. Nick Smith leaves it. Here they come. Wheeler. Wheeler 1-on-4. Tries to make a power move in front. Good job keeping him to the outside. Bulldogs have to chase back into their own zone. That's Derek Anderson, the senior. Anderson to Wysocki. Wysocki to Whitlock, who dumps it in deep. Bulldogs were changing, but now they get the puck in deep. Wysocki on it again. Wysocki working hard down there. Boy, what a big battle that is down there.
Everything's become
to
a
the
battle.
line. Shot comes in. Rayburn says enough of this and gloves it down with 10:57 to go. Highlanders 3, Brighton 2.
The pass, that was Nick Smith with a nice pass. Connor Duffney with a nice opportunity there. And look at Smith going to the net, and he almost knocked that out of the air.
Whitlock on it now, in the corner. Highlanders get an opportunity to skate it out. They do, coming with speed. Look at Storm, power move in front, tries to power it in. Puck lay there for a second, and Hutch had to be careful.
Oh, clearing house.
Boy, a couple of big bodies down there. Wolf knocked a guy over, then Whitlock came over. And you know what I like, Mike? They're letting the boys play. Let them play. A lot of talent on this ice.
And there was nothing dirty or wrong with what was going on there. You had defensemen that were not happy because the big, powerful Storm took the puck to the net, and there was a little action around Hutch. They're going to try to protect their goalie. Nothing to the face, no sticks high. Let the kids play. This has been a real fun third period.
Boy, Pietla wins another draw. How many has Bryce Pietla won tonight? My goodness gracious. Throw the puck in deep. Absorbing the hit, Giroux gets it to the line, but not out. Pietla to Pietla. Now far side. Around, wraparound attempt doesn't work. Nice move to muscle that out of the line. Here come Bulldogs. McKenzie. McKenzie tries the little outside in. Pushed off the puck. Johnston on it now. Johnston still on it. Johnston with a shot that goes just wide.
I called it a goal. That got through the goalie, Sean. What an effort.
Pietla to Pietla. That's Bryce Pietla. Bryce Pietla going to pick it up again with speed. Nice move. Better play by Giroux. Still keeping the puck in deep. Franti out there now. He's had a good game. Duffney just wrists it into the neutral zone. Chad Pietla has to start over there. He's being muscled by Nick Smith. Throws it back. Home run pass misses everybody. Bulldogs with an opportunity to come the other way. Trying to tip it to himself. Does not work for Landon Clement. Clement on it again, though. Clement waits. Shoots it into the corner. Giving chase down there is Nick Smith. First one there is Flamini. Duffney with a pass. Score! Nick Smith.
Good things happen when you go to the net, and we'll see on the replay the defenseman's going to want that back. He blindly threw it around the board thinking that he was going to have a winger. Wolf was a little bit high. We'll see it come here around the boards, and there's, wow. And what did we hear about Cameron Duffney? Connor Duffney, getting him mixed up with his brother. But what the IQ to I get the puck, I'm just throwing it to the net. He blindly threw that to the net. Smith going to the net, knocks it in for his second goal of the game. What a game.
3-3 with 9 minutes to go. Chad Pietla looking to change that. Pietla, oh my goodness, didn't miss by much. He went 1-on-4, Mike.
The change of pace, slow to fast, he's so good with it.
Escala, centering pass, backhand, scores!
Throw the hats.
Throw
the hats.
Baby, Luke Storm.
And there it is. The hats come out on the ice. It just seems when he gets the puck on his stick anywhere around that net, Sean, it's going in. He is such a force right now. That is someone we would call a next-level player.
Watch this backhand. Oh, baby.
And Hutch is all by himself here. There's nothing you can do, right? He's trying to go down to take away everything, and he just gets it to that backhand and scoots it over. 2 quick goals, changing this game to 4-3.
What a quick answer that was. And so, Bulldogs down by 1 again. Walk up behind his own net. Going to throw it to the far side. Johnston can't get it out. Now they finally do get it out. Wilkie King plays catch with Avery. Avery throws it to Bryce Pietla, but here come Bulldogs, 3 of them the other way. Miss there. Walk up trying to get the puck on the net, and we're going to get a slash, Mike. Hey, by the way, high school officials are always needed. Over 1,000 new officials each year. Stay in shape, stay in the game, and even get on the ice. Learn more at MHSAA.com.
A little bit of a discussion here, Sean. Are they taking 1 from each team? Is this going to even up? It looks like the Howell bench thinks so. Nope, just the 1 call.
Yep.
So I think both guys had their hands up, but they both called the same penalty. And just what Howell didn't want, a penalty kill, right? And Sean, that is something you're not going to hear often, and that is Coach Robertson's voice from across the ice. That could be the first time I've ever heard that.
So the Bulldogs back on the power play. And what a big one it is, Mike. Connor Duffney going to take this draw.
Let's keep an eye on 24 here. I have a feeling he's going to be quarterbacking this, and he's either going to be passing or if he has a lane, he's going to shoot it.
Marco Wolf wins that one back. Avery on the backhand. Nearly had his pocket pick. They finally get it away. No. Wolf comes over and finishes the job. Throws it in deep. Hutch leaves it there for Walkup. Walkup trying to skate away. Now it's McKenzie. Gets it in deep, but Howell with an opportunity to clear it. There's Storm. Storm through the neutral zone. Storm still on it, killing time and finally throwing it in behind the net. What a night for 9.
Yeah, it's such a special night. He didn't want to dump that in, Sean. He thought he could do something with it, but eventually he gave in as the coaches told him to dump that in.
McKenzie in his own zone with $1:10 remaining in this Bulldog power play. Howell 4, Brighton 3. What a game it's been in Livingston County. And we're not done yet. Bulldogs on the power play. Iola throws it behind the net. Back to the line now. Shot from the point. Deflected in front. It lay there for a second. And Pietla with a chance to skate it out. Boy, he nearly sent Escala on the goal.
Little sauce there. Just got knocked down. But, oh, look, he got the puck back. You were talking about puck retrieval.
Boy, can that kid skate. My goodness gracious. Oh, they're handing Mike the piece of paper. The vaunted piece of paper.
It gets earlier and earlier every game. The pressure. Oh, the pressure.
Back out into the neutral zone. Wheeler's going to try to wind it up again with 20 seconds remaining in this power play. Wheeler rubbed off the puck. Finally cleared the length of the ice. That should just about do it for this Bulldog power play. Weaver comes back. About 8 seconds left. Weaver just throws it in on Rayburn. Rayburn drops it there. An opportunity to clear it for Wilkie King, and he does. Big kill by the Highlanders. Weaver nearly knocked off the puck. He does. Storm on it again. Storm twists. Storm turns. Storm still on it. Didn't get much on that as his shot was impeded by Landon Clement.
What a night.
By the way, Mike, Alta Equipment knows uptime matters. Get your job done on budget and on schedule. Partnered with the biggest names in construction with industry-leading service and support. Call 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Escala wins that drive forward, but it's walk-up that contains it. Coming the other way, Bulldogs into neutral zone. It's Nick Smith on it. Nick Smith leaves it for Duffney. Connor Duffney with a shot. Rayburn, quick glove, as that was earmarked for the far top shelf.
They're going high. Again, I think they believe that they have a little game plan on how to solve Mr. Rayburn, and it's going high, and that was a nice glove save. It didn't get into his body, causing those rebounds we saw earlier.
Draw controlled by Highlanders. Avery behind his own net. Gets it up to Wolf in the neutral zone. Wolf pass deflects off Wilkie King's skate. Wilkie King picks it up again as Highlanders have to touch up, giving Bulldogs a chance to come out. Duffney, Connor Duffney, knocks it in deep. Rayburn stops it there for Wilkie King. Back up to Wolf. Wolf, nice move there. Wolf, 1-on-2, gets his own rebound. What a stop by Hutch. Oh, Mike, what a dandy that was.
He is keeping this team in this game single-handedly, Sean, the entire night.
Escala, he's got it. He's just going to throw it in deep for Pietla off the post. Oh, kid, stop it.
Use the defenseman as a screen, drag it, change the angle of the shot, put it off the crossbar. Hello.
Bulldogs need one. Pietla coming in again. Oh, good defensive play that time. Giroux says, not this time, young man. As Domzalski lost it. Wolf on it again with another stop by Hutchinson. Wolf on the puck. Back to the point to Bryce Pietla. Far side now. Back to Wolf. Wolf with a shot going down and blocking, and another block. Boy, 2 blocks in that sequence by Giroux. Wolf, power move in front. Tried to play it to himself. Can't get it there. Heikkinen waiting for the puck at the point, but it's Wolf on it. Up into the protective netting, and the play is called with 4:09 to go in this one. Hey, our next State Champs Game Time Live hits the court right after Christmas at the Motor City Roundball Classic in Ferndale, December 27th and 28th. 4 great games over 2 action-packed days. Lauren Plant and Ryan Slocum will be on the call, joined by TJ Kelly and George Ward. 4 teams featured are all in our State Champs Top 20 basketball rankings. Don't miss it, only on the State Champs YouTube page and Local 4+.
I got to tell you, Sean, this number 18 forward for Howell Chad Pietla that they keep putting out here. That's all I keep thinking when I see him. He has the skills, the hands, and the IQ of a good forward.
Franti with another shot right off the draw, and Hutch had to be careful there. There's another young man. I need to say it again. I really like Lincoln Franti tonight. Boy, they have so much talent in this Highlander system, don't they, Mike?
And again, as I said, I walk through the future.
Yeah?
like 50 of them standing there. And they, again, like I said, they all had that. And Coach Robertson talked about it, Sean. This community wants to grow up and be Highlanders.
Right.
It's a great, great thing.
Another stop by Hutchinson. That one off of Hutchinson. Walk up now with an opportunity to get it out. Off the boards. Avery picks it up to Stevens. Stevens tries to play it to himself. Giroux, he's had a strong night, I think, for Bulldogs. In the corner, getting help from Duffney. But on the puck is Stevens. Loses it, and here come Bulldogs the other way. Can't get that shot off as Stevens is back on it, but kept in by Bulldogs. They're going to send it in deep with 3:20 to go here in a 4-3 game. What a dandy it's been here in Brighton. Bryce Pietla throws it to the far side. Nobody home. Nolan Stevens can't get it out. And Bulldogs keep it in deep. Back to the line. Weaver. Weaver shoots it in. That looks like it deflected off a couple things, but stayed in front of Rayburn. Now coming the other way. Here's Bryce Pietla. Pietla plays it to himself. Nice play by Bozak, staying home though. And the play is called. We got a high stick, Mike. High stick here at this critical juncture, Mike, with only 2:47 to go in this one.
Well, there's no hiding it now. You're going to put your top guys out here, and Brighton's going to have to block some shots, and they're going to have to absorb some of these hits along the boards to keep Howell off the scoreboard.
And, of course, you had a feeling the top line was going to be out there. Boy, what a shot by Wilkie King. Hutch saw that through traffic.
I tell you, Howell really gets their shots on net, Sean. They have to be over 40 shots right now.
There's Chad Pietla. Pietla gets that one taken away and cleared the length of the ice. This is going to go all the way down to Rayburn. Let's see what Rayburn decides to do with it. Oh, nearly deflected there. Good play by Wheeler. But here's Storm on it again. Storm throws it to the corner. That one taken away, though. Into the neutral zone, there's Pietla. Back to Wilkie King. Wilkie King drops it for Wolf. Wolf in deep for Storm. Look at Storm turn, but Hutch there to make the stop with 2:02 to go and a $1:15 left in this power play.
What an absolute weapon these guys are, and it's the things you can't coach, Sean. It's size, size, size. I'm going to be interested if we see someone match that line with size all year in the state of Michigan, because those are just big bodies dominating down low.
Boy, shot off the draw there. Had to be careful. Back to Franti. Franti to Avery. To Pietla. Into the corner, Franti there. Back in behind the net. Flamini. Back to Bryce Pietla. Bryce Pietla tries to pump it in deep, can't. Rayburn comes out and plays it with 50 seconds remaining in this power play. 1:35 remaining in this third period. 4-3. Highlanders on top. Here's Avery. He's just going to dump it in back behind the net. First one there is Flamini. Back to the point. Going to try to pump it back in deep to Dylan Flamini. Walk up. Wreaking havoc. What else would you expect? Flamini, near side. Bryce Pietla. Pietla, waiting. Throws it to Franti. Hutch with a stop with Flamini and Feyrich rooting down deep. 1:04 remaining in the third. 17 seconds remaining in this Highlander power play. I think they're going to get the top unit back out there, Mike. They are.
Yeah. So many special performances here tonight, Sean. You know why this makes it one of these games that is must-see and we have to have on state champs every year. I mean, what Hutch is doing, he took this team and put them on the back tonight. He's saying, come on, boys, just get me one more.
Pietla at the point. They try to get it back in. Deflects off the official. Now Duffney, Connor Duffney, into the rafters with 5 seconds remaining on this power play. So if you're Brighton, Mike, you get the puck in deep, and you're going to ask your goaltender to sprint to the bench.
Well, and when we talked to Coach Gavisto, he talked about Hutch not only being calm, but being a very smart hockey player, so he is well aware that he's going to have to come to that bench for the extra guy at some point.
Pietla over to Escala. Full strength now. Here comes Duffney. Here comes Hutch as well. Extra attacker on. Wolf was looking for that empty net, but it's Weaver. Weaver in his own. Oh, boy, dangerous play there as Wolf was in, wreaking havoc. Now it's Howell on the puck with an opportunity to skate out. Here they come, Weaver. Weaver to the far side to McKenzie. McKenzie looking, waiting, centering pass in front. Puck lay there for a moment, still laying there. Peterson was there. Goes the other way. Can it get out? It does. Luke Weaver. I think the Bulldogs are going to run out of time. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. That will do it.
What an ending to an unbelievable game, Sean. I got to give Brighton credit. As soon as they pulled that goalie, they outnumbered guys on the puck, moved it forward. What an ending to a terrific game.
Folks, that was a privilege to bring this game to you. I mean that. What an enjoyable hockey game this was here tonight. But in the end, Howell comes away with a 4-3 victory. And Mike, always one of the coolest things. You see the boys line up, the coaches line up as well, shake hands. Hey, I'm telling you what, applause for both these teams. What a great game.
And this one's personal because these guys all know each other, and this was a well-fought game, and they know it, but this was a special game, Sean. We see why Howell wants to be the #1 team in the state, and we see what Brighton can be. We talked about it on the show. I know Coach Gavisto doesn't like us talking up his team, but you saw tonight what Brighton is going to be.
Nice to see an old buddy now, Eddie McDonald, back on the bench for Brighton, and I want to give a shout out to Eddie and his family and his daughter as well. I'm so glad things are going well, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Well, Mike, are you ready for the 3 stars?
I am ready, and I really like these 3 stars. There was a lot of special performances. We can't get everybody in there, but the number 3 star, we're going to start with Chad Pietla. He had 2 assists, but, Sean, he dominated all over the ice. The number 2 star, it's got to be Hutch. I had him at about 40-plus saves, Sean. What a special night for him. But the most dominant player down low and scoring 3 goals tonight, Luke Storm's our number 1 star.
He's grown up before our very eyes, and he's standing with our own Patty Cesarini. Patty?
Luke, you've been playing some of your best hockey lately. A hat trick here tonight, 12 goals in the past 3 games. What's been working so well for you lately?
Our line just kind of clicking. We're just moving pucks good. Kind of coaching's great, too. Everything just kind of falling into place. It's fun.
And you guys had to work past Hutchison in the goal tonight, which was no easy task to do. How were you guys able to just stay patient through this one?
Yeah, we kind of stuck to the game plan. Just get pucks to the net and just crash the net, just outnumber them out front. Seemed to pay off.
You having a lot of fun playing out here tonight?
Yeah, funnest hockey I've ever played. It's awesome.
Well, congratulations. Go ahead and enjoy this win.
Thank you.
Sean?
I'm not going to argue with that, Mr. Storm. What a fun game here tonight. Howell comes away with a 4-3 victory, but Mike, to the surprise of nobody, either team could have won this game, and the rest of Division I is on notice. These are 2 dangerous teams.
Yeah, and Howell we knew about, and we're watching Luke Storm grow before our eyes. We're watching this Brighton Bulldog team grow before our eyes, Sean. Every time we see them, they get better and better and better.
Your final score here tonight from Brighton. Howell comes away with a 4-3 victory. I want to say thank you to our great staff and wish each and every one of them a happy holiday and a wonderful new year. Mike, to you and your family. Patty, to you and your family. Thank you so much for joining us here on State Champs Game Time Live. Happy holidays to everyone out there.
State Champs Game Time Live is powered by Alta Equipment Company. State Champs Game Time Live is also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, the Michigan Army National Guard, the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association, and the Michigan High School Athletic Association.